Peace, good morning. I'd like to welcome you back into another edition of the Foul Playland. As always, I'm your Foul Player, and I wanted to make a quick video regarding one of the prospects that I like in this year's draft, and one of the prospects I like the most in this year's draft, frankly, and that's Jaycee Horn, cornerback from South Carolina. I'm gonna try to do more draft videos because I love the draft, like the NFL draft, probably more than the NFL. But I just like grading young talent, and this is one of the ones that I like a lot. I'm gonna go more in depth in this. This is not gonna be my last um, Jaycee Horn thing, and I'm gonna go more into detail as to why I think he's better than some of the other cornerback prospects. But I'm just gonna, I'll maybe make one comparison as to why maybe one cornerback has more success than Jaycee Horn, and that's Sertan from Alabama, who's probably the top rated cornerback in this draft. But as far as Jaycee Horn goes, he's listed at 6'1", 200 pounds. I think he weighs a little bit more than that. I mean, from the look of him, he looks like he's like 210, probably 205 when he was playing. He may slim down a little bit before the combine and come in at that 200, maybe a tad above. But I think you could see him playing at 215, 220, 6'1", and he looks like just really well built. Um, but the tenacity of Jaycee Horn, um, in comparisons to everybody else in this draft at that cornerback position, it's not even comparable. Jaycee Horn is more than a willing tackler. Um, he plays decent in the zone. I think he plays okay in the zone. Um, Plays really, really well man to man against really, really good competition. There's a lot of games that I've seen Jaycee Horn against, premier your favorite wide receivers um, that are heading into the NFL, and he shuts them down. Um, some people liked Jaycee Horn's counterpart, that other kid. I think his name is Israel something. He's got like an African name, but he's more of a risk reward kind of guy. Like where there's games that he has two interceptions, but that's because people aren't throwing a Jaycee Horn side. And if they are, like, they're thinking that they could get away with like throwing recklessly to his counterpart, and his counterpart has like reaped the benefits and gotten some easy interceptions. But Jaycee Horn is my cornerback 1A in this draft. I mean, number one in this draft, and I think he could mess around and start and be your cornerback number one day one on most NFL teams. There's a lot of teams that are really cornerback needy. One of my teams, the Jets, needs a cornerback desperately, and he would be the best cornerback on the Jets, and he'd be the best cornerback on most teams. You think about the Browns, um, where they have decent cornerback situation now, a pretty good cornerback situation, but they could use somebody like that and train him up and not have to worry about the cornerback position for a decade. But he's really good. I mean, like, and where rough or brutal comparison as far as why Sertan may have a little bit more acclaim or success. I mean, one, Sertan is in Alabama, but two, Alabama's defense is way better than anything that Jaycee Horn has to play with. But between the two, I mean, if it was a pick for the Jets, like my one of my teams at 23, their second pick, and they were both there, which they're not both going to be there. I think neither one of them is going to be there at 23. But it's Jaycee Horn to me all the way. Um, uh, and I'm not dissing Sertan. I think Sertan is the truth too. But Jaycee Horn is very reminiscent of top tier talent. I don't want to say Revis. I mean, like, because when Revis was in college, I was all over Revis. I thought I mean, I kept telling people that he was one of the best that I've seen. Um, and a lot of people were tempering my excitement. I mean, like, but look what Revis ended up doing in the league. Probably the best cornerback, pure cornerback during his prominence in the NFL. I think there was no better cornerback than when Revis was, at his best. Better than Dion, in my eyes, just as a cornerback. But I'm not saying that J.C. Horn's there, but J.C. Horn has a lot of potential. The only thing that J.C. Horn got to clean up is his tackling. He could be a little reckless with his tackling, like when he tries to help on the runs, and that's more like on a like when you're talking about zone. You want your cornerbacks to be assisting on every tackle. A lot of times when J.C. Horn is the first one there, he could be a little reckless and tries to go for an over the top tackle. When I think that for the case of sake of preventing injuries and to get a short tackle rather than a obliterating tackle, just clean that up, slow it down, um, get a good wrap on a guy, like, and maybe let somebody else clean up on the tackle if you have to. But J.C. Horn, I mean, like when he gets a wrap on a guy, he don't need nobody's help. He's bringing him down. Um, but then I like him a lot. I mean, like, if you guys don't agree or agree, let me know. Um, you'll be surprised. I mean, the fact that he may go in the middle first round to me is a steal. I mean, like J.C. Horn. There's a lot of cornerbacks that I thought were trash, like coming out of D. And D. Milner may come to mind, and D. Milner went, top 10 to the Jets. Where I'm thinking like, man, this guy looks regular as hell. Um, and J.C. Horn has none of that. There's very, very limited instances in which I think like, man, this cornerback is the truth. A lot of times, I mean, I'm somewhat wrong on like the cornerbacks that people think are really good, and I don't agree. And maybe I'm wrong more on that end. But like I'm not like I haven't been very wrong on like guys that I think are dope not ended up being dope at the cornerback position. I'm very greedy with the cornerback position too. I mean, as far as my grading goes, like I don't really get excited about people unless they're really good. You know, like I don't. I find it very risky, like to take cornerbacks like early in the draft. I'd rather personally pay for cornerbacks. I'll pay the 15 million, 16 million for a cornerback. Because when you got a bad cornerback, it could be really bad. Like especially as history is dictated, with the Jets, for instance. Um, but when I see somebody really good in the draft, I mean, like, that doesn't happen often, like, where I'll get, like, uber excited. Another cornerback in this draft, I'm going to get into in another video, um, that I like a lot, and he's going to slip because he didn't play last year, is Paulson Adebo. Paulson Adebo is, like, everything I like about J.C. Horn, um, you could say about Paulson Adebo. Like, the only bad thing that's gonna haunt them is that he didn't play last year, and Paulson Adebo was the best cornerback probably in the land in his freshman year. But then his sophomore year, he took a little bit of a step back. But I thought in his sophomore year, he was still probably the best cornerback in the land, or one of them. It's just that he took a step back. So I mean, like that's the only and the fact that he didn't play last year. But Paulson Adebo, even in the second round, is a steal. But he might go in the third round, which is going to be a super steal. I think he would go in the third round, or might go in the third round. Um, and a lot of people are already discussing better options than Paulson Adebo, and I don't know what they're smoking, like Trill Williams, like or the other guy from South Carolina is, the guy with the African last name, like, and I don't know what people are thinking. Adebo is a boom prospect. I mean, like, very, very to get a super solid, cornerback, um, late round one and down, like somebody who is going to be a starter and not like that you have to suffer through him being a starter. That's a steal. I mean, like, because you're going to pay like, for a regular lackluster cornerback in today's NFL, you're going to be paying 10 million a year. Somebody who's just serviceable, you're going to be paying more than that. So like to get somebody like on a Debo, like, in the second round, I mean, you can't really beat that. And I hope that, if the Jets, in spite of the fact that they need offensive linemen in this draft, because I'm not really, really pumped up about like the 1A and down talent in this draft. I don't like as far as on the offensive line. There's a lot of people that are really really hyped up about the guards from Alabama. I think they're just serviceable. They're I wouldn't cry if we drafted them because we need anybody at the guard position for the Jets. Or say like the center from Ohio State. They're just eye prospects. Like they're not like nothing to write home about. But like if if um if it were a case of filling the need at getting a serviceable lineman for the Jets in the second round, even after they drafted like Jaycee Horn per se with the second pick in the first round, or taking a Paulson Adebo in the second round, in spite of the fact that they already drafted a cornerback, if I were the Jets, I would much rather take Paulson Adebo in the second round, in spite of like the fact that you need like linemen like there's no tomorrow, or in spite of the fact that you're already taking a cornerback, because that would just secure your cornerback position for years. I mean, like I don't know what you guys think. But if that's the case, I mean that's kind of like going into the draft a little bit too much. But I would be looking to trade down in the second round, um, if I were the Jets. Um, and you already drafted like a J.C. Horn in the first round, then I would look to trade back a little bit in the second round and maybe take like a Rondell Moore, um, or take Paulson Adebo at that pick. Another prospect I like too in this draft that might go in the second round is Rondell Moore. Um, he's the truth. I think Rondell Moore might be a little bit better than Kadarius Toney, who a lot of people are falling in love with. I thought throughout this process, Rondell Moore was a first round talent, and for some reason, he's dropped out of. Even though he didn't play a lot last year, but and Kadarius Toney had the benefit of playing a lot, but Kadarius Toney, and I like Kadarius Toney a lot, is a second round talent in my eyes. Though I wouldn't cry if the Jets took him, because Kadarius Toney is right what the Jets ordered. Like we need a receiver like that, but we also Kadarius Rondell Moore provides a lot of what Kadarius Toney provides, but he has like this little gadgetry aspect to him where he could run the ball. He's hard to bring down. He's a little tank. Like a lot of people were comparing Waddle to Rondell Moore, like throughout the year. Now, like Kadarius Toney has like surpassed Rondell Moore by a long shot. I think Kadarius Toney's gonna go in the end of the first round. In my eyes, I think he's definitely gonna go at the end of the first round to like the Saints or to the Jets maybe. But I think Rondell Moore in the second round is a way better bargain. But let me know what you guys think. With that, I'm out. Thanks for checking me out. Peace.